Hey everyone, this is Science Riparia, and in previous video we talked about C++ compilers. If you haven't checked it out yet, please go to the video description, check it out. So today we'll be going to talk about interpreter, linking, and loader. So let's first start with interpreters. So we won't be covering interpreters in much detail because C++ is a language that is not interpreted. It is only compiled. So we will be mainly focusing on the linker and the loader part. But uh, some basic knowledge about interpreter is important. So the main difference about interpreter and compiler is that when we use compiler, the whole source code gets converted into the machine code at once. So we compile the program once and we get a executable file and we can run it anytime and so it is a one go thing. And in case of an interpreter, what happens is the source code is converted into machine code line by line. So when, for example, in languages like Python, which is interpreter, so what happens is it is executed line by line. So we uh, interpret one line, then we convert it into machine code, then we run it, then we do it for the next line, and so on and so on. So there are some disadvantages of interpreter. That is, it is slow as compared to compilers, and this is because the fact that in C++ like languages, when it is compiled, it is at whole converted to executable, and once it's converted to executable, what we need to do is run the executable in the machine. So it will follow the machine code instructions and it will run it. But in case of interpreter based language, what happens is when we try to run it, so first thing it happens is we are converting the source code to machine code. At the same time we are running the machine code that is converted also. So there are two things happening, and if the interpreter part is slower, then it will also slow down the execution of instruction part. So the languages like C++ are comparatively faster than languages like Python because it is interpreted, and in C++ it is compiled. So these are the main differences about interpreter and compiler. There is uh, nothing more. So we won't be talking about interpreter much because C++ is a language which is not interpreted, it is compiled. So I think now we can move on to the linking part. So linking part is interesting. So let's talk about it. So what is linking and what does linker actually do? Linking is a process that we go through when we go from our source code C++ to our actual executable binary. So in the first stages of the conversion, as we have talked about, we do pre-processing, then compiling, then at the last, what we do is linking. So I have actually made entire video on compiling, so you can check it out on the video description. You will find a link. Uh, so now let's focus on the linking part. So once we've compiled our files, we need to go through this process called linking. So now our primary focus during this linking part is to find each symbol and function where it is and link them together. So remember that we wrote two files, two CPP files, like main.cpp and math.cpp. What if these two files depend on each other? And it is generally a common convention to split our code into multiple files. Suppose we are working on a large project and a part of the code is responsible for handling the math part. So we can separate that part into a separate file called math.cpp, and similarly for other tasks also. Some part handles, let's say, what's being rendered on the screen. So there can be another file related to that. So we can always split the code into multiple files to make our code more modular and more hierarchical. So this is a common practice around many languages. And so let's say we split our code into many files. So uh, one file doesn't relate to others. So how do we uh, link these files together? So remember that when we compiled these files, we got a separate object file for each of them. So and those are independent. And so what we have to do now is this linker, what it does is it connects these all the object files together and makes a single executable file where we can run it. So these separate object files have no relation to each other and they cannot actually interact. So if we decide to split our program across multiple files, after compilation, we get separate objects files. So there is no way to connect this. So the job of the linker is exactly this thing. So what it does is it connects these object files together and it creates a single executable file then which we can run. Okay, so another function of linker is even if you don't have any uh, other files. So let's say we have only one file, this main.cpp. Then also what happens is, let's say we have different two, three functions in this main.cpp. So we need to know a entry point to this program. So what I want to say is when we run the executable or when we run the program, we need to know a path from where we will start the program. So in this case, we always assume that we start this program from int main. So it is a by default the compiler takes searches for this main function for the entry point. So for any program, we always need an entry point to run that program. So let's say we also have other functions also. Let's say we have this and we also have another one. So it doesn't matter. So what happens is we always need this main function to tell the compiler that we want to start execution from this function. So this is the by default setting. Okay. So another feature of this linker is it defines the entry point to the program. So let's say we have all these CPP files and their object files, and we are finally linking these functions together. So, but still, we need some kind of entry point to the executable. So when we are going to run this executable on our machine, so we need to know where to start execution from what point. So even if we don't have many files for our current application, we only wrote one CPP file and we have one object file, then also we need to define the entry point to the program. So by default, as we know, the program start executing from the main function. So uh, this is the main function and the control begins from here and we start execution from this. So whatever other functions are there or other objects are there, they get called from here. So this is where the execution begins. So this is the job of the linker. So linker is the part that is responsible for defining the entry point to the function where the execution will begin. So even if you have multiple functions, let's say this one and other one also. So it doesn't matter. So like then we always have a choice that from where we'll start the execution of the program. So this is the job of the linker to figure out where is the entry point of this program. So another thing we know is like we by default take main as our uh, entry point, but it is not always the case. So we can also have our user defined function, any other named function as our entry point. We'll talk about this later. So let's try something interesting. So what I want to show you is this entry point. You might have known that if we remove this main function from, let's say I remove this main function. So in by default, this program shouldn't run because the compiler by default searches for this main function. So to test this, what we want to do is I would like to build this, and it should throw some errors. Okay, so as you can see, uh, we have an error that is called unresolved external symbol main. So the linker part is searching for this main part, and you can see the error code also. We'll talk about this also briefly. So there is a error code. The error code begins with LNK prefix. So this means that this is a link error. So, and I also want to say that this part is totally independent from the uh, compilation part. So to show this, what I would do is I would like to only compile this code. So when I only compile this, so you can see build succeeded. So it doesn't throw any error. So why this is happening? So this is happening because this is responsible for the link in the linking part. So a linking part figures out where the entry point is going to be. So for compiler, it will only create the object file for these two programs, this all these files. Even if we have one file, it will create its object file. In the linking part, we figure out from where the program execution will begin. Okay, so let me show something different. So let's put back our main function and let's do something that will throw a compilation error. So let's remove this semicolon, for example, and we again build this. So you can see it is expecting a semicolon, and what you can see is the error code begins with C. So when the error code begins with C, it is a compilation error. So it is expecting a semicolon and it didn't find. So the code is cannot be compiled into an object file. So this is what is happening. And when we do this for the other thing we did, when we removed this main function and then we build this, it successfully compiles because there is no compilation error. But whenever we try to build our whole executable thing, here we only compiled it, so it didn't show any error. So now you can see there is conflict, and you can always see that this is a link error because the error code starts with LNK. So we learned a few things. We learned that the compilation and linking part are independent, and the linker part is responsible for creating the entry point to the program and also linking multiple object files into one part. So that's it for the linker part, and we can always debug which part is throwing error by always looking at the error code. So if it is a link error, it will start with LNK, and if it is a compile error, it should start with C. So now we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so now let's talk about some other ways we can get linking errors. So let's say we have a function at math.cpp that is defined. We have a function here, and we want to call this function from the main function. So they call this. So we have written a code. Let's see what happens when we compile. So we would definitely get a compilation error because this square function is not defined in this file. So let's try it. So we start compiling and we get an error that square is not defined. So let's define it at the top. Now I've defined this function square. Now when we compile this, we shouldn't get any error. Okay, so now this is successfully compiled. So let's see how linking actually works. So we have defined that there is a function called square exists and we have used it there. But actually we have defined this square function in math.cpp, which is at a different file. So what happens when we try to run this? Let's see. So we get 81, that is 9 square. So we are getting the correct result. So what is happening is the linker is linking this function to where it is defined on the second file. So linker is joining these both object files after compilation, and we are able to split the program into two files. So we have actually defined the function here and we are able to use it here. So that is what linker is doing. So for now, let's see how other linking errors we can get. So let's say this function doesn't return any. So suppose we do not define the function, we define some other function. It's a square 2. So now this function should get compiled. So let's see. Okay, so as I said, the because for individual file we get separate object file. So this function gets compiled successfully into object file. So there isn't any error. But when we perform the linking part, we will definitely get an error because this square isn't defined. So if we go to output, we will see a linking error. It begins with lnk and there is a function, it cannot find this function square. So this is one type of linking error that we can get when we divide our program into multiple files. Okay, so another kind of linking error we can look at is, let's say, okay, so first we will do something. We copy this function from here. Okay, so now what I've done is we have defined a function twice. So this should throw a compilation error. We will talk about why. So if we compile this program, only compile, so we see there it is throwing some errors because this function is declared twice. So if we remove one occurrence, one declaration, then we again compile, it is successfully built. Okay, so the reason why compiler this was a compilation error is because this was declared in the same file. So whenever if we have two occurrences, the compiler can easily find it and it can throw error. But let's say we have the same definition of this function in another file, say this one. What will happen then? So let's try to build this again. Okay, so now we can see that it is successfully built. So, so it's compiled now. So because we do not have any duplicate names. So what we'll try now is, uh, so it is compiled because compiler only looks at a file only. So it doesn't go through other files and checks the occurrence of them. So it only looks at a file and makes its object file. So now what if we build this whole thing? So let's try this. So as you can see, we now have a linking error. So this is not a compilation error because it is not occurring in the same file. The function duplicate is in different file. But when we are linking, during linking, it is finding that there is always a duplicate. So this is throwing a linking error. So that's other way we can get this error. So let's move on to the next thing. Okay. So this was the different things about linking, and as we know, so linking what it does is, uh, after creating of the object code, then linker what it does is it merges all the object files and creates one executable file. It is also responsible for determining the entry point to the executable, and it also helps in including other libraries like C++ standard library and all that, um, to the executable. So it is the last stage of creating the machine code. After linking is complete, we get executable, which we can run directly at our machine.
Okay, so this should be the whole map of how C++ program gets compiled. So there are lot many CPP files. Then there are some header files. All of those get pre-processed into a temporary file. So for each CPP file, after pre-processing, there is a temporary file, and after the compilation, we get the object file. So for each CPP file, we get a object file, and then we run the linker. So when the job of the linker is to link all these programs and additional libraries and build a executable. So this final executable is what will run on your computer. So this is how the whole process looks like. So first we have our source code, C++ source code. Then we run the compiler. Then we get the object code. These are the .obj files. Then we have some additional files or libraries. Then there is this linker which links all of these files and creates one executable file. Then the special program loader, what it does is this loads these executable files into the computer memory, after which the computer can execute it. So the function of this loader is only to run the executable files in the memory. And what it does is it loads all the machine codes into the computer memory. Then the CPU starts executing them one by one. So that's all it does. It is nothing special. And every time we run executable file, this is what happens.
Another thing to note that is there is two types of linking, that is static linking and there is dynamic linking. And we can talk about those later. But for now, this is it. And thank you for attending. Bye.